Okay, we're calling the meeting to order. Please rise for Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ask for a moment of silence, please. Okay, I want to thank you and welcome everybody that's here, everybody that's watching or will be watching. Next item is roll call. I'll be starting the roll call today. Aye, Commissioner Smith.
Aye.
Commissioner Stephen. Mike, are you here?
Trying to find
Can you hear me?
Call on the roll.
Yes, I'm here.
You sure?
It's trying to find the mute button.
Commissioner Culverson?
Here.
Commissioner Cos?
Here.
All right. Yeah, you know how that works, Jeff. All right, public comment. I don't believe there was anybody listed today, Mark, on that. Administrative business. Mark, did you have anything?
I do have a couple of items today, Commissioners.
Right ahead.
One of them, we have a board order, and like I mentioned, that we don't typically like to do these without having them on the agenda, but in this case, it's one that you've already approved. The plan, we've submitted it to KDOT, they've approved it, and now we're trying to apply for some federal funding. And our grant specialists have indicated that the board order that you have would go a long ways towards checking some of the boxes we need to check to fulfill the grant requirements. So if you would, we would appreciate if you could approve the board order that you have. And if you're not comfortable with that, I fully understand. We could put it on next week, but that does put us just a little bit behind.
I think this is pretty time sensitive.
I think we can go ahead and go through with it.
Yeah, we talked about it. I think so, too. Okay, any discussion on it? Probably need a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Board Order 2022-3.
Second?
Motion and second. Any more discussion? I vote aye. Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Stephen?
Aye.
Commissioner Culverson?
Aye.
Commissioner Cos?
Aye.
All right. Thank you. Got that done. Okay, Mark, what else you got?
A couple other items. As you know, a few weeks ago we discussed mid-year adjustment for pay, and pretty much have that wrapped up. The only thing that's left is elected department heads and elected officials' pay is regulated by the Board of County Commissioners, has to be amended via resolution as it's approved via resolution. So I wanted to ask the Board of County Commissioners if you wanted us to place for next week a resolution on that would amend the pay for the elected department heads and the Board of County Commissioners. If so, if there's an amount, if you wanted to use the amount that we've used across the board, or if you have no interest in doing that, I need to know that too.
I don't think we need to make an adjustment to the
That's
elected
we do in
officials.
January.
Yeah. I think we need to just do it at the time of year it's normally done, personally.
In January, if there's need to be
If there needs to be an
gap,
adjustment.
we can fill a gap then.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
That's my opinion as well. What do you think?
Fine with me.
Yeah, one thing I'd ask, though, Mark, is that we know with the way inflation and everything is that when we look at it in January, we want to take everything that's happened into consideration of what's going on. So, those people need to be taken care of also, too.
We'll definitely do that.
Hey, Commissioners, Stephen, you have anything on that?
I agree with not doing anything till January.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
One last item for budget meetings. In the past, the Board of County Commissioners, unless there was an enhancement, we typically didn't require every department head to come in. I just want to, as I'm setting up for next week, I've met with all the departments except for the county attorney. Apparently our schedules have just not worked out so far. And interestingly enough, he is the only department that has an enhancement at this time. All the other departments have reviewed their budgets and are coming in with a very modest adjustment. So there's no true enhancement that we would call. So I'm just wondering which departments, if you want to meet with all of them, if you want me to schedule all of them, or if you just want to go over the budget in general with myself and the clerk, and then have the county attorney. I think he said he would have to call in next week since there is an enhancement in that budget.
I'd just soon, meet with the ones that have the enhancement and meet with Mr. Lawfrey because he's meeting with all the department heads. I think we could streamline it.
I agree. I think that's what Mark's here for. And I'm glad to hear that everybody has taken a hard look at this, sharpening the pencil on that, though, too.
I was very, very happy with the way the budget processes went to this point. All of the departments were very austere with their requests. Some of the outside agencies have also amended what they've requested based on the letter that was sent out. But the budget right now looks really good. I think we're able to make the adjustments that we've already discussed, and I'm very, very optimistic that what I present to you next week will reflect a $0.25 reduction as previously directed by the board.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad that people took that serious. It's a hard time for everybody, so anything we can do is going to be, we need to do.
But we're not going to be able to remain revenue neutral,
Nope.
and we knew that.
Yep.
The last time, would you say that this month is basing average month of bills on our check registry? Because August is a little higher, July and August and September are higher because of the road department.
Right.
No offense, Bill. But they do spend a lot more money. I figure this is about an average month. And if everybody knew what we were mandated to pay, it's not just roads and bridges and Sheriff's Department and Council on Aging.
Yep.
Here we got court-appointed attorneys. For one, it's $3,000. Well, that's about an average homeowner's taxes. But out of that $3,000, the school district gets their share, and all the other agencies. And then we've got autopsies we're mandated to pay. Did you see how many of them were in the month of May?
Mm-hmm.
Then you have prenatal care at KU Med Center. It just goes on and on of the mandated things we have to pay. That.
Well, I have to agree with being the city administrator and mayor in Lansing for so long. I thought those cities had a lot of bills, and they do. Don't get me wrong. But when I came up here 18 months ago and saw what we're required
to pay
to handle, it was an eye opener to me.
And we have to pay. We have to pay.
Right, it's not optional.
A lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah, I agree, Doug.
And whether we agree with it or not, we have to pay it.
Yeah.
And then, I've been looking at our last year's budget, and I looked at 08's and 09's budget, and the last time the county raised the mill levy was 2016, and that was to pay, they raised it $0.50 to pay for the Justice Center.
Right, the roof.
And that's because they were not doing a depreciation or an amortization schedule on that building.
Yeah.
And we're doing that now. But the only place we got money laying around is in like equipment reserves. And to me, you don't take money out of them to lower it, or you're going to have to raise it down the road, just like when the roof came due.
You'll pay for it later.
Robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah, that's about what it
Stay
is.
forward.
That's what it is.
So, anyway, that's
good.
And I know you folks have been looking at the budgets last, and this is a tough year.
Yeah, I agree,
But
Doug.
hopefully we can lower it.
Good comments. Mark, do you have anything else?
No, sir.
All right, any more comments on that? Not, I'll move on.
When you approve
Commissioners, did you have anything for administrative business?
Nope.
Okay. Mike, do you have anything on administrative business?
No.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's move to the consent agenda. Any item on the consent agenda that needs to be removed? If not, I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Aye. Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Stephen?
Aye.
Commissioner Culberson?
Aye.
Commissioner Collins?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Now, formal board action. Consider a motion to approve Resolution 2022-13, a special use permit for Hidden Valley Wilderness Retreat. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. This is a request to approve Resolution 2022-13, a special use permit. Hidden Valley is, they have had a special use permit for the last 5 years. They are requesting to expand their operations, which we always knew that they had planned on doing so. Those requests are very much in line with what they indicated to us several years ago that they would be doing. The property is over 31 acres. We have not had any formal complaints. They've operated within the confines of their special use permit for the last 5 years. The Planning Commission voted 8-0 to recommend approval of this.
I didn't revisit this one. It's my second one.
It's a neat facility.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I mean, but as far as I didn't make it up.
you didn't eyeball it. I don't
I've
see it.
missed two of them. They've been in Commissioner Culberson's district. So.
Well, you're going to visit me, I'll let you out, Doug, so it's a good thing to stay out of that north part of town.
And I visited with the water department and members of the fire district and several of the neighbors, and there's not an issue with this.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd see one. Any other commissioners have any issues with it? No, I'm sorry, Vicki, do you have one?
No.
I'll take a motion to approve.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Resolution 2022-13, request for a special use permit for Hidden Valley Wilderness Retreat.
Second?
Motion and second. Any discussion? Aye. Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Stephen?
Aye.
Commissioner Culberson?
Aye.
Commissioner Collins?
Aye.
Very good. Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you much.
Once again, sorry I didn't get out there to visit it.
It's one of me that you haven't. That's all, Doug. You're pretty good about making those rounds. Okay. Presentation discussions. Fiddler contract for Register of Deeds. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm very happy to be here to give you an update on the status in the Register of Deeds office. Staff has added close to 45,000 documents, back indexing, and getting those additional documents available for online research. I'm extremely proud of my staff. They have done that in addition to all of their regular recording duties. And so now we are moving forward with the vision that I presented you in 2021, February 24th. And that is Phase 1, Bastion, was implemented in May of 21. That is the same platform that saved the Wyandotte County Register of Deeds office when ransomware hit the county government offices. They continue to operate totally uninterrupted. That is the best reason I can say we wanted to jump to that so soon. Phase 2 is now scanning, so we are going to be digitally enhancing rescanned old deed books. And I want to thank you very much for your support to keep the funds in the ROD Tech before I took office, and then also for your support last January with keeping research fees in the ROD Tech. That allowed us to move this project forward before the end of 2 years, which is so much better than what I had even hoped would be the timing of it. By signing the contract in June, we are actually able to keep the 2021 quote figures that we had, and like everything else, those figures are going up for everyone else. We have a contract price for the scanning of $216,109.54. So this also establishes our line in the queue. We have to wait 60 to 90 days once we've signed the contract to know where we can get in for existing work that's being done by U.S. Imaging. The total price is going to be variable due to how many documents we actually have. An example is we have deed books are typically 600 pages, but we opened up one book and there were only 30 pages in it that were actually used. So this price could go up or down. Just when we get to the end, we'll know exactly what it is. But roughly $220,000 is what the final contract price will be. The contract was reviewed by our senior county counselor, David Van Paris, and also an issue was U.S. Imaging is going to be on site 24 hours a day. Estimated time is 2 weeks. That may extend a little bit longer once we get the project rolling. But they will constantly be accompanied by a staff member. I will be here over the midnight shift, and Sean is salaried. He'll take the evening shift, and then the ladies will be there during the day. I also reviewed that issue with Sheriff Andy Dedeke. He signed off on that. So next is going to be phase 3. When we scan all the documents, those will be available by book and page. But the first thing that we're going to scan is the index books. The professional researchers can use those index books from their office. They won't have to come in and do the research. They'll be able to find the book and page that they need, and when all of the enhancements are finished and the documents are uploaded online, they should be able to completely do their research from their office. My initial goal is then the back indexing of the documents, the images themselves. We want to get complete indexing for a full 50 years done just as soon as possible. Condor is a division of Fiddler Technologies. We'll hire them to do the back indexing of all the fields. That includes the legal description. Then once we hit the 50-year mark, we're going to change. I have been surveying the professional researchers, the title companies, the surveyors, people who most typically will use my office. From year 51 and forward, I can stretch our dollars by doing a partial indexing. So we'll index all fields, the grantor, grantee, the type of document, the date of it, except for the legal description. And we can do that for about half the price of what indexing completely with the legal description. So this does two things. Since the professional researchers understand indexing and they can still get the book and page, the general public comes in when they do genealogy researching or the history of their own family's property. They typically want to look by name. So by doing the partial indexing, we're giving the public more records online to research, and we're stretching our dollar further. Now, to fill in that gap, staff is going to be going into those partially indexed documents and adding the legal description. On a good day, doing complete indexing that they've done over the past year and a half, they may hit 200 documents a day. So if all they have to index is just the legal description, it's a guess, but I'm hoping, maybe 300, 400 documents a day will get added into the record. I want to thank the industry, the members who are utilizing my office for, they partner with me. They endured the temporary price increases. That was kind of a shock to them in the start of my tenure. But all of those fees have gone to help make this project possible. They're going to be rewarded with no longer having any $7 charges because they'll have all the tools in their office that they can find all the documents without having to use my staff. So from the COVID standpoint or monkeypox or whatever's thrown at us, again, it's a safety issue because less people are coming through publicly and it's more convenient. The researchers should not have as many human errors either with the enhanced documents. So I will stand for questions.
Any
You
questions?
understand all that?
I was starting to write it down, but
Well, I wrote a lot of things down.
I can give you my notes so you can read it.
No, I just want to thank you for having a vision
Yeah,
for the department to do this.
I read the book.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I read that too. I still didn't understand it. But I do understand that it's going to make it more user-friendly and
In the end-
easier for title companies and even the public to use.
And that's exactly right. In the long run, at the end, I think that's what's going to really benefit. I agree.
Commissioners, just so it doesn't require board approval. It's out of the Register of Deeds Technology Fund, and that's under her full discretion. But she agreed to come up and kind of give you an update on it, and because it is a significant purchase, and we're going to be here 24 hours a day for a while. So she wanted to also let you all know that. So just appreciate Terry Lois coming in.
Well, I think she's kept us up to date on all this stuff. I really appreciate her.
Well, happy to. I just have one request. If you see my staff wandering around the office, just stick out a hand and shake it and say thank you for all your hard work, because they really are a joy.
We'll absolutely pass it on from us, too. And, I mean, when you go back downstairs, tell them we're aware of this. Commissioner Stephen, do you have anything on this?
I don't know if you can hear me that well, but I do appreciate everything that the Register of Deeds office has been doing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mike, you're coming in very clear. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Terry Lois.
Thanks, Terry
Thanks
Lois.
for the update. Okay, Mark, do you have anything? Okay, I'll start with that. Two things. David, I appreciate you looking in that, trying to locate that church, the background, so we can get to the owner, whatever we need to do. I know you spoke to Matt, and I appreciate you calling him on that day. Any further, or are you still in the early stages of that?
Early stages.
Okay. Second thing, just on July 2nd, Lansing will have their Independence Day celebration. It'll be at the town center, since the new park is having so much work done to it for ball fields and things like that. They'll start at 3 o'clock. There's about 9 or 10 good vendors coming, and then music will be starting at 3 too. There'll be most likely a shuttle from the elementary school. More information will be coming out on that, I think, today or tomorrow. And then the fireworks show usually starts around 10 o'clock. So, if you get a chance, mosey on down that way. Doug?
Had Bayshore City Council meeting last week, had Mid-American Regional Council meeting yesterday, and going to the groundbreaking ceremony for the new park at Bayshore tonight.
Anything else, Doug?
No, sir.
Thank you. Commissioner Stephen?
I don't have anything directly, but I would ask that you keep in your thoughts and prayers all the folks that were involved in the Amtrak derailment. That was on my line, and it's been a pretty disruptive thing the last 3 days.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mike. Jeff?
I just wanted to bring up Easton City is going to have fireworks too on the 4th, starting at sundown. And then also, again, July 16th, we're having the Meals on Wheels Council on Aging benefit down at Haymarket Square. There's going to be jump houses for the kids and
Great.
food vendor trucks and a beer garden and
My
a
favorite
band
singer?
playing. Yeah, band playing. And so come on down.
Yeah.
July 16th at
Parking
Haymarket.
at the courthouse, huh?
Yeah, what time was that again? I keep
5 to 10.
5 to 10. Thank you. Anything else, Jeff?
That's it.
Vicki?
Oh, had Marathon Transit Authority meeting last week. And then the Workforce Partnership meeting was postponed due to technology issues yesterday morning, so it's being rescheduled for next week. And attended the City Commission meeting last evening. That's it.
One meeting was long enough for you. Okay.
It's probably going to get worse before it gets better.
Well, I'm
You got a
gonna.
World Cup, they got to just
Yeah, there's
figure
going to be a
out
lot of.
transportation in the
Yep.
Kansas City.
There'll be a lot
It's
of
gonna be huge.
planning around that. I'm going to be attending their a conference on the 30th of this month,
That's great.
Salt Lake City.
I know it
so.
takes a lot of time, but I appreciate that, Vicki.
Yep.
Okay, if there's nothing else, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion a second. Aye. Commissioner
Aye.
Smith, Commissioner Stephen,
Aye.
Commissioner Culberson, and Commissioner Cox.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.